on me.
In his weekly report on the shenanigans of the left coast, here is James Herson.
Most people are aware by now that the television show, cable show, South Park, that animated show, it's on Comedy Central. Well, it's not for kids. I mean, the hint came in the very first episode, which was a Christmas show that featured a violent clash between Santa Claus and Jesus. And the show uses vocabulary that parents would rather not have their children learn or emulate. I mean, this is a program that has mocked Catholics, Jews, Mormons, even atheists. South Park has depicted God as a gap-toothed animal and regularly features Jesus as kind of a hypocrite superhero who uses miracles to smite his opponents.
Are you kidding?
The show has viciously satirized famous celebrities, including Tom Cruise, Michael Jackson, and Mel Gibson. Now, this has resulted in very high ratings and lots of offended groups and people.
What a surprise.
In the plot line of the 200th anniversary episode, everyone that the show's ever offended comes back on the program all at once. And in the episode, Tom Cruise has teamed up with a group of other celebrities that were parodied in the past on the show, including Bono, Tiger Woods, and Paris Hilton. And these celebrities plot their revenge for being the target of parody in the past by these South Park animated kids. A battle then ensues that could only happen in the cartoon community of South Park between the animated celebrities and an association of red-headed children. Now, lots of characters and groups were made fun of on this 200th anniversary show, but the producers of the hit show, Trey Parker and Matt Stone, did offend a group that has a slightly different response when they are upset. I mean, they don't limit themselves to criticisms or even protests. This group, their mode of expressing their objections to the show was via an inference, a warning of violence and murder. Murder.
What?
Murder of the producers of the show. The creators of the show were warned by an Islamic group that they would face violent consequences because they satirized the Prophet Muhammad in this anniversary show.
Unbelievable.
A U.S.-based group, Revolution Muslim, used the internet. They posted on their website that the South Park creators, Matt Stone and Trey Parker, would probably, quote, wind up like Theo Van Gogh, close quote. Now that is a scary reference because Theo Van Gogh was the Dutch filmmaker who was shot and stabbed to death in 2004 by an Islamist over his short film that was titled Submission. It was about the abuse of women in the Middle East in Islamic countries. This posting by this group, Revolution Muslim, also very ominously gave details about a home that Stone and Parker, these producers, reportedly own. They co-own it together. And in the posting, it listed the addresses of their production offices out here in Hollywood and the New York office of South Park's network, Comedy Central. The entire post read like this, quote, "We have to warn Matt and Trey," that's Matt Stone and Trey Parker, "that what they are doing is stupid. And they will probably wind up like Theo Van Gogh for airing this show."
This is unbelievable to me.
Now, the post added these words, quote, "This is not a threat but a warning of the reality of what will likely happen to them," close quote. Now, the network and the producers of South Park were obviously afraid of this posting. And in a later screening of the show, the references to Muhammad were bleeped out. They were censored. So there's a lesson for people in Hollywood. There's a lesson for people on TV. It's simple. If you have a comedy show, a parody show, make fun of Christians, make fun of Jews, make fun of Mormons, make them look stupid, make them look ridiculous, attack the celebrities, attack the institutions, but don't offend Islamic groups. Comedy Central had no comment on this controversy. Mm-hmm. And the offending episode of South Park was shown with these audio bleeps and image blocks, reading the word over them, censored. And in a message posted on Parker and Stone's website, southparkstudios.com, they wrote that they couldn't stream the new episode on their own site. Here's what they said, quote, "After we delivered the show and prior to broadcast, Comedy Central placed numerous additional audio bleeps throughout the episode. We do not have network approval to stream our original version of the show." These bastions of free expression were muzzled. And a spokesman for Comedy Central confirmed that the network had added more bleeps to the episode than were in the cut delivered by South Park Studios. And that Comedy Central was not giving permission for the episode to run on the South Park Studio website. That is the producer-creator's website. Now, in the past, Muhammad was featured on South Park. Back in July of 2001, Muhammad, along with Buddha, Moses, and the founder of the Mormon Church, the LDS, Joseph Smith, were this group of religious leaders that helped the other South Park kids rescue one of their characters from a cult that was devoted to magician David Blaine. Now, back in 2006, after, of course, 9/11, after tensions mounted, Comedy Central had muzzled Stone and Parker and didn't allow them to show an image of Muhammad in an episode that was designed to comment on the Danish prophet cartoon, which sparked worldwide protests. The cartoonists behind those drawings, those Danish cartoons, faced death threats, and the Danish embassy in Syria was burned down that year.
That's crazy. Sorry, crazy.
There were members who plotted to kill one of the cartoonists, and that came out in court. Danish newspapers this year apologized for reprinting those pictures, and a Muslim writer who was blogging on BeliefNet, a guy named Aziz Poonawala, he distinguished the Danish cartoons from this current South Park episode. Here's what he wrote. He said, quote, "I don't watch South Park, and I likely never will, but I much prefer their attempt at a depiction of the prophet, which is rooted in a simple need to assert their creative freedom rather than any genuine intent to defame or insult Islam. Quite unlike the Danish newspaper cartoons," this blogger said, "which were created with only malice in mind." Now, Parker and Stone knew that they risked censorship with this particular plot line. In an interview with the pop culture and tech site boingboing.net, when the two were producing that 200th show, they said that Muhammad was going to be one of the featured characters, but they said they also didn't know how he would be portrayed and questioned whether Comedy Central, their network, would let them show Muhammad at all. So does that mean that these two self-described libertarians are going to stop offending Christians and Muslims, Jews and LDSers? The answer, no. Stone and Parker recently announced a new musical based on the Book of Mormon. I mean, their program, South Park, is successful because of controversy, and these two guys know where their bread is buttered. So we can expect more offensive stuff when it comes to all religions, but their network will censor out the anti-Muslim content.
Thanks for the report, James.
Thanks, Michael. All these years, you've stood strong in the face of attempted censorship. Back to you, my friend.
I'll be right back.